What's up, all my Ewoks, triples, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and today I'm going to be talking about the toxic fandom and how it is ruining everything in the Star Wars universe. Now, before I get into this, and obviously you can see what's up in front of me and you kind of get more of an idea of the topic, I wanted to make it very, very clear. Do not go and contact any of the people that you are going to be seeing in this video. If you have something you need to say it here in the comment section. Do not go bother any of these people. If you want to do your research and you want to look more into it, the links for everything is here, but do not bother them. I have gone down a pretty deep fucking rabbit hole looking into this stuff and this situation because I read this article. I just went on Google and I looked up Star Wars. This was the first article that popped up. I clicked on it. I read it and was alarmed at the things that I read, because one of the things that I have found in the mainstream media is that a lot of the times when you get pieces that are presented to you as news and as factual, they actually tend to just be opinion pieces and editorials that, and a majority of the time, don't have any type of evidence to back up what they're saying. And that's one of the reasons why I have to do extensive research on this, because the research isn't provided in the actual article itself. There's no work cited in the actual article, which is an alarming thing when it comes to actual professional journalism. Now, and again, that's why I have to go down these damn rabbit holes. So I read this blog post, which it is a blog post, this from the editor. So this is the person that is the editor. You go to the, this person, news editor for IGN. So they call this great blog from Charles, who is, the author of this blog. Again, do not go bother Charles. Do not go bother James, the editor. Do not, I think you can comment on this article. Do not do that here in the comment section. Do not bother these people. Now, reading this article, it talks about Krystina Arielle and the situation that happened with her a few days ago. I did a video on it. You are more than welcome to go watch that. If you would like a more in-depth analysis of what happened, I'll give you a quick summary. Basically, it came out that, she's going to be the host of the new High Republic YouTube show, and people went and they did their research on her and found these tweets that they thought were alarming and, were a little bit racist, and they, compiled them and showed them, and people saw that and formed their opinions based on these tweets that were shown. And again, this is part of doing your research on people, which is common. We all have a past. If you've been online, you can go and look at, what I said 2 years ago. You can go see what a lot of people have said, depending on how long they've been on social media. You can do this with everyone. So, when you say stuff on the internet, that's why they say it's there forever. You can delete it, but guess what? Screenshots are forever. So people saw what she wrote. And, they're right here. If you want to go see the video where I cover this, and I have links to all of it. They say things that have to do with, the American election. Now, I don't know why everyone is obsessed with American politics, because guess what? There are hundreds of other countries in the world. Not everything rotates around America. America is not the center of the universe. But sometimes on Twitter, politics tend to get the better of people. I personally do not talk about politics unless it has to do with the Star Wars universe and the Separatists and the Republic or the Empire or the Federation and stuff within the own fictional universe politics of those fictional worlds. Keep it out of here. I like to talk about pop culture. It's an escapism from reality. I don't need reality spoiling it, running into my entertainment. So when it comes to situations like this, when you are dealing with racism, my rule of thumb is if you switch out the word, this ethnicity, this skin color, with this word, would you still be okay with it? If you were saying this about white people, if you switched out the word white with the word black, would you still be okay with what you are saying? If the answer is no, I think we all know what the problem is there. Now, people saw these tweets and, you know, had opinions about it. And then Star Wars' official Twitter released this tweet. Now, in this blog, this opinion piece blog, they talk about the toxic fandom and, you know, larger problems of massive fandoms and how, you know, the fandom is toxic against, you know, right here. Petty, jealous ugliness is just as much a part of fandom toxicity as lack of on-screen representation is. So it's blaming the toxic fans for, you know, being racist or causing problems for, you know, and saying, you know, Arielle was, you know, she had racist harassment. And they linked this tweet from Star Wars. Now, one of the things that I have called out, and I've done videos on it, and other people have called out, is you want to call out racism, and Star Wars did this post that is linked, which is, you know, one of the tiny little scraps of evidence and research that is, or, you know, the works cited that is actually in this blog opinion piece is this. But guess what? You want to look at what Star Wars has done? Okay, they ignored James Earl Jones on his birthday. They said happy birthday to Kelly Marie Tran. They ignored James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader. One of the main characters, one of the biggest, most well-known characters on this planet, not just in Star Wars. They ignored him on his birthday. That could have been an oversight, but with all of the people that commented on the Kelly Marie Tran post saying, why aren't you saying, yeah, happy birthday to her, but why are you forgetting about James Earl Jones? You know, and then they did a post all about, you know, we support and we, you know, believe in what Martin Luther King Jr. said because it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And that's great. That's, you know, more power to you for believing in what he said and the things that he believed in and all the wonderful things that he did to try to make the world a better place. But then, you know, you say that you believe that and you want to honor this man's memory and all, you know, his legacy. But then you look at what you did to John Boyega. You know, you shrunk him on the Chinese poster because you wanted to get the Chinese audience. You completely removed Maz Kanata from the Chinese poster, which was voiced by a black woman. You know, what did you do to the black characters that, you know, Star Wars has that underneath Disney? They, you know, reduced Finn's character and made him, you know, comedic relief and basically a joke. Even John Boyega called out his treatment of his character compared to Daisy Ridley's character. You go and click on this tweet, and it takes you to the one from Disney. And, you know, it says, you know, we do not stand for bullying and racism. We support Krystina Arielle, which is great. Support Krystina Arielle. But then, you know, you see Geeky Sparkles. Me too. I think racism is garbage, no matter who's spouting it. Heel versus Babyface. You know, you shrink John Boyega in the posters. You cut down the role of John Boyega. Change what she said to black, Jew, or another word and, other than white. See what reaction would be then. Exactly. And, I mean, you can just go through this entire post and see exactly the kind of things that people are saying with the poster. Oh, like, look, Stephanie, she linked all of Data Racers when people were harassing other people. You know, Pablo Hidalgo called Star Wars fans shitty assholes and shitheads. Did they back him there? Gina Carano getting attacked. And then, look, even Nerdrotic posted it. Here's the evidence of the poster. Here's John Boyega in the poster for the rest of the world. Here he is in the one for China. Look, Maz Kanata was right here. I mean, she was a smaller character because she was only in a few scenes, but they completely removed her from the Chinese poster. You want to talk about racism? The fans had nothing to do with this. The fans have no control over the way Disney decides to release their marketing to certain people and how big certain characters appear on promotional images. You really want to talk about racism? I mean, they need to look in a fucking mirror for that. But then it goes even further. You know, it was saying, you know, petty, jealous ugliness just as much part of the toxic fandom. But they... Look who was actually doing the racist stuff. It wasn't the fandom. And if there are fans that, you know, are just toxic, then show the evidence of that. What fans are saying that? Show the receipts. I mean, this is just a person on the internet, and they expect me to believe them. And they expect me to take their word face value. They expect everyone that reads this to take their word for it, which, I mean, I don't know this person. I've done my research on this person enough to where, you know, I've looked at their Twitter and these Twitter feeds. I saw that they did this podcast called The Real Canon. I listened to this podcast, which is 50 minutes and 15 seconds. The guy that wrote this blog, after listening to that, I actually like him. I think he is very intelligent. He's very well spoken. He knows his shit about Marvel, and he seems to really care about Marvel. But when it comes to this, I'm blown away because this doesn't seem like the same person that was in that podcast that's writing this blog. And he even makes a point to say here, you know, this is part of why I tend to steer clear of doing video-focused things or streaming. The whole culture around video content makes people act absolutely wild, and it seems like an invitation for unnecessary stress. Well, I mean, to you know, to mirror what he says right here, you want to talk about, you know, an ugliness just as much as the, you know, toxic fandom, and he brought up, you know, petty jealousy earlier, and he even brings up, you know, jealousy here. You know, you see why people are mad, though. You know, she's going to, jealousy's, you know, a bitch like that. Well, I mean, that's honestly what this seems like. It just seems like he got upset about this situation and he's blaming it on the toxic fandom without, you know, larger problem of massive fandoms and hostiles towards, you know, black women. It's like, well, show the evidence. I'm glad that, you know, Krystina, she showed screenshots of things that people have said about her. Great. That's good. Always take those screenshots, show those receipts. And, you know, there are really fucked up people out there that are going to go out of their way to say the most vile shit to everyone. And, you know, so specifically when there's individual situations like this, there are going to be those terrible people that are going to go out of their way to spew hatred. Show those receipts. Put those assholes on blast because they deserve it. If they're going to go and say racist shit, fucking expose those assholes for who they are. Which I wish would have been done in this article. If there are really assholes that are, you know, saying that John Boyega, Kelly Marie Tran, and Daisy Ridley all faced for what essentially boiled down to not being white men, if there are people saying that John Boyega and Kelly Marie Tran and Daisy Ridley deserve to be harassed because they weren't white men, fucking expose those assholes. But I can't stand when people just want to group an entire fandom and say, oh, well, you know, because of these certain assholes, the entire fandom or this portion of the fandom that I don't particularly like because they might not agree with me on certain things, they're all responsible for the actions of these certain individual assholes. I don't like that at all. And I think when it comes to stuff like this, because just reading this article, it's blatantly infuriating because of all of these accusations without any evidence to support any of it. Now, I believe, and, you know, I know for a fact there are those keyboard warrior toxic trolls out there that are going to say the most vile things because they can get away with it. I deal with that shit every day. I know it's real. That being said, I show my receipts whenever that happens to me. I don't know why this doesn't have those. I don't know if there's some kind of limit to how many images that they can show, but I mean, you can click on all of these and it takes you to different links for things. I mean, maybe have a separate page that, you know, every time you say this, click on it and it takes you to the work side of or the links showing all of these examples of these individuals being toxic and it having to do with, you know, certain people not being white men, which I have never seen. And I would like to see that. If that is a thing, if there is some fucking asshole out there that's saying, oh, you know, shit about these characters, calling out actors and actresses who have absolutely, you know, nothing to do with how the character is written. All they do is they get a script and they do their job and they act. They're not responsible for the way that their character was written. If there are people out there saying that or, you know, making them, one with their character in that way, show the receipts for that. Show this. I need to see this evidence because for face value, I can't take this person's word for it. And again, this is somebody I listened to, them and their co-host for over 15 minutes, which was a very good podcast. Again, very insightful, very well spoken, very intelligent. And then you get something like this that's just, you know, an opinion piece blaming mass fandom for the individuals of a few assholes. I don't like this kind of stuff. If you guys want to go read this whole article, it's here in the description of this video. Again, do not go bother any people. I just wanted to present this because I think that it's a huge problem when things are presented as news and it's made a definitive statement that, oh, larger problem of massive fandoms acting hostile towards, you know, black women or, you know, John Boyega, Kelly Marie Tran, Daisy Ridley. There needs to be evidence and there needs to be receipts, and this needs to be clear that it's an opinion piece. I shouldn't have to go on Twitter and see from their editor that it's just a blog. And I mean, this is something that's been going on since 2018, because here's another blog from the same person, and it does the same thing. There's you know, there's no evidence. There's links to tweets, there's links to other articles, but there's no evidence of, you know, what right here, explicitly addressing the fandom's bad behavior. Okay, well, it's somebody addressing the fan behavior, but show me the fan's bad behavior. So I just wanted to talk about this and to, you know, bring light to this situation, because I mean, I just think it's wrong. If you're going to make these declarations, show the fucking receipts. I don't know why it's that difficult, but sometimes I guess it's just too hard. Anyways, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. Thank you so much for watching this far through. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. That way you get notifications when I do the videos and live streams. And until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I have an Etsy store, so if you've ever wanted to own a print of my artwork, this is the place to go. As you can see, I have a lot of recognizable characters, from horror films to heroes to Star Wars characters.